Have you ever wondered how a man can forget your voice but never forget your silence? How your absence can echo louder than all the words you've ever spoken? It's a mystery, isn't it? That when you're not texting, not calling, not reaching out, that's when he starts thinking about you the most. Not when you're always there, not when you're always available, but when your energy quietly slips away from his world. It's strange how the moment you stop trying is the moment you live in his mind without even trying. There's a reason for that. In the words of Rumi, "Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will become your cure." Sometimes silence is not emptiness, it's presence in its strongest form. And in relationships, especially with a man who once had your attention, that silence speaks louder than any paragraph, any emoji, any double text. Think of it like this. Imagine a perfume that only lingers after the person has left the room. He breathes it in, searching for the source, but it's gone. And the absence only makes him crave the scent more. That's how your energy should be, subtle but unforgettable, the kind that stays even when you walk away. The kind that makes him check his phone, not because you texted, but because he hoped you did. You gave him attention, you gave him time, you gave him softness, love, care, and yet he started to expect it like it was routine. He started to take the glow you brought into his world for granted. But now it's time to shift. Not with games, not with pretending, but with quiet power. It's time to stop handing over your energy like it's endless, because it's not. And the second you stop pouring from your cup, he'll feel the thirst. Beautiful woman, you are not chasing anymore. You are not proving anything anymore. You are stepping into a space where your presence becomes a privilege, not a guarantee. That is when something shifts inside his heart. That is when your name starts echoing in his silence. That is when you stop being the woman who waits and start becoming the woman he cannot stop thinking about. Now listen closely, because this is where you begin living like a queen, not the kind who demands attention, but the kind who draws it without saying a word. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of the strength, the beauty, and the power you forgot you had, then don't just watch, join us. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we're working hard, with every word, every story, every truth, to create content that speaks directly to your heart. This space is yours, a place where your worth is never questioned, only honored. Number 1. Your absence must be louder than your words. Have you ever noticed how silence sometimes speaks louder than 1,000 words? How not saying anything at all can leave the deepest mark on his mind. You stop texting, and suddenly he notices the quiet. He feels it, not just in his phone, but in his chest. Because when you were always there, always responding, always showing up, he forgot the weight of your presence. But now that you're gone, now that your voice is missing from his day, it's the silence that follows him around. That's how you stay on his mind, not by chasing, but by disappearing with dignity. It's strange how people only start appreciating a melody once the music stops. That's what your silence becomes, the song he didn't realize he loved until it stopped playing. You gave him effort, attention, love, but he got too comfortable. He expected your texts, he expected your care, he expected your presence like it was promised. But now there's nothing, no good morning, no check-in, no reminder that you're still there. And it's that nothingness that's making him think more than any message ever did. Remember this, sometimes silence is not empty, it's full of answers. Your absence is not weakness, it's power. When a woman pulls back her energy, when she stops pouring into a man who took her for granted, it leaves a space so loud it becomes unforgettable. You're not ghosting, you're growing. You're not punishing him, you're protecting yourself. Think of a candle that once lit a room. It gave light, warmth, beauty. But when the flame goes out, the room feels different, cold, dimensois. He remembers how it used to feel. That's you. You were the warmth. You were the light. And now, your absence glows brighter in his memory than your words ever did on his screen. Lovely woman, this is where your power begins. No more waiting for a text back. No more wondering if you said too much. Your silence is your crown now. You are not lost. You are rising. He thought he could walk away and still keep your energy close. But now, he's learning that your silence is louder than your words ever were. Write this in the comments and claim it. My absence is unforgettable. Queens, let him feel the silence. Let him feel the loss. And while he's busy wondering where you went, you'll be building the life he'll never be part of again. If this message reached your heart, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are here, working with love and fire, creating content that helps you rise into your strength, because you were never meant to beg. You were meant to reign. Number 2, be the peace he can't find anywhere else. Have you ever noticed how the loudest silence is the one he feels when you're no longer trying to be heard? When you stop texting, stop checking in, stop sending your light into his world, suddenly the quiet becomes heavy. It isn't the absence of words that shakes him, it's the absence of your peace. Because no matter how much noise she brings into his life, it will never calm him the way you did. The truth is, when a woman becomes his calm, she becomes unforgettable. There's something rare about a woman who doesn't need to shout to be felt, who doesn't need to speak to be heard, who brings peace, not pressure. As Lao Tzu once said, silence is a source of great strength. And in love, silence mixed with peace becomes magnetic. When you're no longer texting him but he still feels your presence, that's power. That's how you stay in his mind without saying a word. Think of it like this. Imagine a warm, still lake in the early morning. No wind, no movement, just peace. When he sits in the chaos of his day, when the world pulls at him from every side, he will remember the way your energy made everything quieter. Not because you chased him, not because you were always there, but because being near you felt like rest, like home. He might laugh with her, he might talk with her, but when the noise fades and the room grows quiet, that's when your presence creeps back in. Not because of your voice, but because of the peace he once felt wrapped in your silence. That kind of peace doesn't just vanish, it haunts him gently, and nothing she says will replace it. Lovely woman, you are no longer the one who begs to be heard. You are the calm after the storm, the stillness that echoes. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to reign, softly, silently, powerfully. This is what it means to live as a queen. He will feel your peace, not your pressure. He will miss your presence, not your paragraphs. Write this in the comments and claim it, queens. My peace is unforgettable. We are working hard to bring you the kind of truth that builds you, heals you, and reminds you your power doesn't beg, it reigns. Number 3. Leave a fingerprint on his soul, not just his screen. Have you ever noticed how a single moment can stay in your heart forever, but 100 messages can fade like dust? Have you ever looked at your phone, knowing deep down that no text you send could make him feel what your presence once did? That's because the goal was never to fill his inbox. It was to live in his memory. You're not here to leave a mark on a screen. You're here to leave a fingerprint on his soul. A man may forget the words you sent, the emojis you chose, or the timing of your messages, but what he will never forget is how you made him feel when the screen was dark and your voice was gone. You don't stay on his mind by chasing attention. You stay by leaving a feeling he can't shake. A feeling of real love, real strength, and real presence. As the great poet Rainer Maria Rilke said, "The only journey is the one within." And the moment you pull your energy inward, the moment you stop pouring yourself out just to be noticed, something changes. He begins to remember the way you looked at him when no one else did. He starts replaying your laughter, the way you supported him without needing credit. That's not something a new message can erase. That's not something another woman can replace. Imagine a candle in a dark room. When it's lit, everyone sees it. But when it's blown out, the warmth it gave, the light, the comfort, stays. That's the kind of woman you must be. Not loud, not chasing, but unforgettable. He doesn't need to see your name on his screen to feel your presence, because real love, the kind you gave, doesn't vanish when the conversation ends. It lingers like perfume on his collar, like a song stuck in his head. Let this be the moment you stop trying to be seen and start living as the woman who never needed to be loud to be remembered. You are not a text to be read and forgotten. You are a presence that stays long after the phone is silent. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I leave fingerprints on hearts, not screens. Let the world know that from this moment on, you are no longer chasing messages. You are becoming the memory he can't forget. We are working hard to bring you real, powerful, life-changing lessons because you were never meant to beg for attention. You were meant to reign. Number 4. Stop explaining, start reigning. Have you ever noticed how the moment you stop explaining yourself, that's when he finally starts to pay attention? The second you pull your energy back, your love, your words, your presence, suddenly he feels the silence louder than anything you've ever said. He starts to wonder where you went. He starts to think about what he lost. That's not magic, Queen. That's power. You don't need to explain why you stopped texting, why you went quiet, why you're not showing up the way you used to. You simply stop. And that silence, that's the moment you stop explaining and start reigning. He thought you would always be there, ready to answer, ready to fix things, ready to fight for a spot in his life. But love is not a job interview. You don't need to keep proving why you deserve to be chosen. A man who really sees your worth won't ask you to shrink just to fit into his life. He will make space. And if he doesn't, then you rise without a sound. As the great poet Hafiz once said, I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. That light, that fire, that presence, it was never meant to beg. It was meant to lead. You are not here to convince him of anything. You are here to become the woman who lives rent-free in his thoughts, not because you keep texting, but because you stopped trying. Think of a crown, a real one. It never explains why it belongs on the head of royalty. It just shines. It just is. That's you now. The more you chase, the more you disappear. But when you stand still in your power, in your silence, he begins to feel the weight of what he lost. He starts to feel your absence like a shadow over his days. Because when you stop explaining, you become unforgettable. Dear woman, you are not broken. You are stepping into a power so quiet it roars. This is your time, your era. He expected a message. He expected a reason. Don't give him either. Give him the silence that teaches him everything he didn't want to learn. Write this in the comments and claim it. I stop explaining. I start reigning. Let this be your reminder that you are not here to prove. You are here to rule. And if this message lit something inside you, beautiful queens, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're working hard to bring you these powerful, life-changing lessons because this isn't just content. This is your comeback. Number 5. Carry yourself like the loss he'll never replace. ChatGPT said, have you ever seen a man smile in public only for his eyes to quietly search the room for something, for someone, but she's no longer there? That's not coincidence. That's the ghost of the woman he thought he could forget. That's the feeling he never expected to miss. That, dear woman, is what happens when you carry yourself like the loss he'll never replace. At first, he may not notice your silence. He may enjoy the quiet, the distance, the break from attention. But silence has a strange way of growing heavier with time. When you're not texting him anymore, not checking in, not asking how his day is, something starts to shift. He doesn't feel relief. He feels the emptiness. The space you once filled becomes colder. And the truth hits harder than any message ever could. You're not waiting anymore. As Khalil Gibran once said, forgetfulness is a form of freedom. But for him, forgetting you won't feel like freedom. It will feel like punishment, because you didn't just send words. You sent presence, love, loyalty, fire. And now that fire has turned inward. Now you carry it in your walk, in your silence, in the way you no longer chase. Think of a priceless painting taken down from a wall. At first, it leaves a simple blank space, but over time, that space feels bigger than the canvas ever was. Nothing else fits. Nothing else shines the same. That's who you were. Not just another person, but a masterpiece he never appreciated until it was gone. So no, you don't text him now. You don't remind him of what he lost. You become the reminder. You live so boldly, so gracefully, so unbothered that he remembers you without you saying a word. You are the woman who loved with depth, who stayed when others would have left, who gave without games. And now that you've stopped, now that you've gone quiet, that's when you stay on his mind the most. Carry yourself like the loss he'll never replace, not with pride, but with power. Because, lovely woman, this is where the shift begins. This is where you stop waiting and start reigning. Affirmation: I am the loss he can never replace. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. Let the world know that your silence speaks louder than your words. We are here, building powerful lessons for women who are done waiting to be remembered and ready to be unforgettable. Number 6. Be the flame that lit him without burning yourself out. Have you ever noticed how he only starts to miss the warmth when the fire is gone? He stood close when it felt good, soaked in your light, took comfort in your love. But the moment you stepped back, the moment your glow no longer reached him, something changed. That silence, that distance, it started to burn him in a different way. Because he didn't realize it wasn't just your presence he needed, it was your energy, your fire. And now, without it, he's cold. And he's remembering you more than ever. There's a saying, a flame that burns too long without rest will turn to ash. You gave and gave, thinking love meant lighting his world, even when yours was dimming. You kept texting first, checking in, keeping the connection alive, hoping he'd notice, hoping he'd care. But love that drains you is not love. It's sacrifice. And you were never meant to be a woman who sets herself on fire just to keep a man warm. Imagine a candle glowing in a dark room. It doesn't shout, it doesn't chase, it simply shines, quietly, powerfully, and the moment it's gone, the room feels empty. That's what your presence was like for him. He didn't understand the light until it disappeared. And now your absence is what he feels. Not because you said anything, not because you begged, but because you stopped. You stopped texting, you stopped proving, you stopped explaining. And that silence, that glow that used to be his, it's haunting him. You are not broken, you are not forgotten. You are a woman who once lit up his world, and now that fire is yours again. You are no longer waiting, you are no longer burning yourself out for a man who didn't see your worth. From this moment on, you burn for yourself. You glow for your own reflection. And he will think of you every time he feels the cold. So rise, lady, take back your light, become the fire he can never touch again. Write this in the comments and claim it. I am the flame he will never forget. Let the world know that your silence isn't emptiness, it's power. We are working hard to bring you life-changing lessons that remind you exactly who you are. Because you were never meant to beg, you were meant to reign. Number 7. Be the mystery he can't solve, the story that never ends. Have you ever noticed how the books you can't put down aren't the ones that tell you everything? They're the ones that keep you turning pages, aching to know what happens next. That's the kind of woman he remembers. Not the one who begs for attention, not the one who floods his phone with messages, but the one who stays in his mind like an unfinished story. When you stop texting, stop chasing, and stop explaining, you become the mystery he can't solve, the story that never ends. He doesn't miss what's predictable. He doesn't replay the same lines over and over. He remembers the pause in your voice, the spark in your silence, the way you left without begging him to follow. Because mystery doesn't scream, it whispers, it lingers. It becomes the thought that won't let him sleep. You gave him something real, something deep, something rare, and now your absence is louder than your presence ever was. Seneca once said, "Withdraw into yourself, especially when you are forced to be in a crowd." That silence, that space, that absence, it's not weakness, it's power. When he starts wondering what you're doing, who you're becoming, and why you haven't reached out, that's when you've won. That's when your energy lives rent-free in his thoughts. Think of a locked journal with pages filled in beautiful ink. He held it once, he read parts of it, but not all, and now that journal is gone, out of reach. But the words he read, the feelings he had, they haunt him. He wants more, he needs more, but he can't access it anymore. That's what you are now, not a chapter, but a whole book he'll never finish. And that, Queen, is how you stay on his mind without ever touching your phone. Beautiful woman, stop over-explaining. Stop texting him to remind him you exist. He knows. He feels it. Every time the silence gets too loud, he hears your name. Every time she tries to be you, he feels the difference. And no matter how many arms he runs to, your presence becomes the one thing he can't erase. You are not broken. You are the question he can't answer, the page he keeps rereading, the ending he'll never get. And that's exactly what makes you unforgettable. Write this in the comments and claim it. I am the story he will never finish. Let the world know you're done chasing, done texting, done explaining. You are the mystery now. Queens, if this message stirred something inside you, if it reminded you who you are and what you deserve, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're here to give you truth, strength, and life-changing lessons. Because this isn't just about getting on his mind, it's about owning your power while you're there.